Let's get started, friends. I'm so excited you're here. Okay, so I get the honor to introduce one of my favorite people possibly ever. I just love this woman so much. She has been, I could even seriously get emotional.
Oh, don't.
She has been such a rock to so many. And she was a part of our Jewels training. And she is just the most loving, passionate, rock solid woman I think I've ever met. She loves the Lord. She has grit. She has determination like you never could even imagine. And she is a legend in Plexus. She has just been here and grown with the company. And there's only one of her and no one else like her. So without further ado, let me introduce the one and only Sonya Dudley.
Well, Autumn, that is like the nicest, sweetest, heartfelt opening I've probably ever had. And it means a lot to me, but it is this so, I'm just a normal person, just like you guys who, my family doesn't put me up on a pedestal. I don't put myself up on a pedestal because I know all my weaknesses and I struggle just like you guys struggle with all kinds of issues. So, it's just life. It's what we're going through. And I have got a lot of lessons from doing life for I'll be 50 this year. And so I have learned a lot through working with people. I've been in network marketing for 29 years. There was a couple years in there where I did not do it. Maybe about 2 years where I didn't do it. But a lot of life. So I'm just here to share. I'll share a little bit about my story, my journey, and then I'm going to share with you just a few things that I believe are key to kind of how you can just make this work. Because so many people think, well, that's great for you, but I could never do that because I'm not like you. And I'm not like you, and I'm not like you. Well, when people are saying that to me, there's somebody out there like that person who just hit diamond. Those are things people say, they're excuses, because it's easier to give an excuse than to give it your all. It truly is. It's easier to give an excuse than to just give it your all. And so I'll just share a little bit about my story so you kind of know where I'm coming from, because I do sometimes do some tough love, and I want you to understand where it's coming from. But I live in a really tiny town. I live here with my husband of 26 years and my 2 grown children. We have an 18-year-old who's in college, and we have a 23-year-old who he works really hard. Both have a very good work ethic, which I'm very proud of that. I have 3 dogs here at home. I love dogs more than anything. And, I just believe that God allows us to have lessons in our life and have hard things happen in order to groom us. Anything in your heart that he gives you this desire for something more. And I don't believe he would do that and then not allow you to have the resources to achieve it. So it's where's that gap, between we're born, we got this dream, it gnaws at us over the years, and then what happens between that and actually really going for it, reaching it. And a lot of things for me was, oh, thank you, Brandy. Oh my gosh, I went to the gym today, and I'm going to be real honest. Then I went to a funeral, and I came home and I put my gym clothes back on. So thank you. I don't feel so young, but I will tell you I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. But, I learned, I've been through so much in my life, health-wise, belief-wise, fear, self-sabotage, not thinking I was worthy, coming from a small town. We had 2 red lights, 1 high school. I put a cooler in the back of my car and I drive. And then the closest Walmart's 40 minutes away. But, to go to like a Publix or like a Whole Foods or something, it's an hour and 20 minutes. And I do that, every couple of weeks. And so just to tell you that, I had a hang up about some of that. I'm a small town girl, no one here has money and no one would ever want to do what I do. And all the things that you've probably either said or you've heard. I've lived it. I've either believed it, bought into the lies, or I've lived it, or I've overcome it. I mean, and that's kind of where we all are in our life with situations. We're either we've either come through a crisis, we're in a crisis, or we're going to have a crisis. God never said this life would be easy. He just said, He would be with us. So we will have trials. We will have trials. And that's another thing I'm going to bring up in my little few things I'm going to point out is everything is perspective. So when I was in college, I started network marketing. I started doing Mary Kay. I loved it. I loved makeup. I loved women. I loved making them feel better and pretty. I loved everything about it. So I was doing that very consistently through college and changed my major probably 4 times my first year and a half, 2 years. I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I did know that I loved to help people, and I loved watching people feel better about themselves. And so I thought, this is what I'm supposed to do. So I actually pursued Mary Kay, and I worked it for 17 years. And I was full-time. I was a director for probably 15 and a half, 16, something like that. And loved it. But I got really burnt out at a certain point. I went to every convention. Here's the tough love. Do whatever you can to go to convention. Every year that there is a convention or something you can go and grow and go and plug into people who are like-minded, it will serve you well in your life. It will serve you well. I did not say it's going to make you go home and reach your dreams next week. I said it will serve you well because you will only get better when you are around people who are getting better. John Maxwell says that a lot. And, a lot comes out of me that comes from him because he was one of my mentors for this whole time. And so I say a lot of things that, I heard from him or Les Brown or Zig Ziglar. So plug into those people who you can learn from, grow from. At convention, it's a must if there's any way possible. But after I went to every convention and learned a lot, and I still knew network marketing was the best industry. Let me open my door. My dog's got to go out. Go. Go, Triple. Go. Go, babe. Go on. You can't have it both ways. They want me to leave the door cracked so they can, they're nosy.
Yeah.
What are you doing in here? No, wait. Look. Let me see what Dad's doing over there. So my heart told me after going to my first convention, I cried the entire convention, and I said, I want to pursue this. And this is what I said, if those people can do this, why can't I do this? And see, then what happens is we start saying, well, here's why I can't. I live in a small town. My husband's not supportive. I don't know anybody. Nobody's got any money. Nobody needs, and we start, but what we have to always be is that, and I'll get to this, but we have to always be the possibility person. We always have to be instead of, why can't I do this? Why not me? How can I make this happen? So we have to learn to be very aware of our words and our thoughts because it will control your future. And so I did being young, I did deal with a lot of insecurities, and I had to overcome a lot of that. And I did that from a lot of the things I'm going to tell you, personal growth, things like that, affirmations. So I got really burnt out on my first business. And I took a little time off. I got really sick. I got really, really sick. And that was a time in my life that everything was really dark. And I want to say this to you. Sometimes when things are hard, we think that things are going wrong in our life when really everything's going right. Because those hard things, most of the time, are what God uses to give us the tenacity, the grit to pursue what's in our heart. You know, I look back and I think if I hadn't been really, really sick, how could I use my story to help other people? God already knew the puzzle. He knew he was going to bring Plexus to me in 2012. He knew it. So, you know, he's like, you know what? This is happening to you. So let's see how you can get through this. And I'm going to be honest, there were many days when I cried. And I thought, I can't, Lord, why? Why? I am a happy, fun, loving, giving, full of life person. And I'm in bed every day. Why? Why are you allowing this to happen to me? And it was hard. It was hard. But I'm going to tell you right now, as hard as it was, I would not trade anything for going through it. I wouldn't. So, Les Brown, I don't even know who said it before Les Brown, but I've heard him say many times, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And when I was sitting there in pain and crying, and I was in a whirlpool bath, in the middle of the day, just trying to relieve my pain, and I was crying, I couldn't see the picture because I was in the frame. But God already had the picture and puzzle figured out. So I hope that gives you some hope on perspective on how to look at things when you're going through it. You will always have trials. And so I think the perspective on that is for me, what helped me through life was, all right, Sonya, you are going to go through tough things. And I guess I had to bring down my expectations of myself, my kids. You know how you have this picture of your life, and then when something happens, you think, oh, how could that happen to me? I can't believe my teenager would do that. I just started saying, everyone's human. Who am I to judge? And I think God, I tell you one thing that I know, he allowed me to go through the pain that I did because I would judge people. Sometimes I would judge people who, were hooked on pain medicine. I would be like, how do you get hooked on pain medicine? And it's like, are you kidding me? I understand how that can happen because it would have been a road easily taken had I just given up and not had something inside me wanting more. And a lot of people praying over me, and just God's timing is all I can say. But I can see God allows things to happen to you so you can have a different perspective and be able to have more compassion for people. So just be aware of all that. As you see things, as you're going through things, say, instead of why am I going through this, what can I learn from this? What am I going to take away from this that's going to inspire so many people? And just learn to look at things differently. And it's going to serve you well in so many areas of your life. Okay? All right. So I joined Plexus in 2012, swearing off network marketing. Never would I do it again. But I got into it, and the products drastically gave me my life back. Okay? In every way. Gut health, digestion. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was on all these medications. I couldn't sleep. I was up and down in weight. I would eat a bag full of chocolate chips. Like, I crave sugar. I would find it. I'd go to the store. I don't care. I had to have it. it changed everything.
What happened here?
So, and y'all can hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you
Okay.
now.
Yeah, I freeze up a little bit. Sometimes at night, the internet gets a little slow in the country. So it just spread. And then I was able to quit my job. 10 weeks after getting into Plexus, I was able to quit my job, pursue it full time. And then in March, I hit Emerald. And then in July, I hit Diamond. And July. And so it was kind of in that time where there was no diamonds. And then Sheila Medina hit Diamond, who's my upline. Well, Helen McFadden is in between us. But Helen and I joined the same 5 minutes. So she joined under Sheila, and then she turned around and gave me her ambassador number. So we joined September the 4th, 2012. And, you know, it just, I think we just had some hope for something better in our life. And if you have hope for something better, God doesn't bring something to you and then change his mind. So if he brought Plexus to you, then you got to work on you and not look for something better. You got to work on you, because this company, I've been in 4 or 5, and this is it in every way. But number one, on just a few little tips here, these are short, but number one is you have to have an anything is possible mindset. Anything is possible. No matter what happens, you have to say, okay, wait, how can I look at this differently? Is there a solution to this? Here's 2 good questions. Is it out of my control? And is there a solution to this that I can contribute? Okay. If not, if neither one of those, then you just move on, because worrying, fussing, ranting on Facebook, getting in a group and let's be mad at the company. What does that do except keep you back and keep you in a negative mindset? So those are things I ask myself when situations happen. You know, can I control it? Can I contribute to the solution? And what could be possible? What could happen from this? So it's an anything possible mindset. When someone says, I could never do that, I'm thinking, but wait a minute. Why couldn't you do that? What's holding you back? So it's how you think controls everything about your future, right? Another thing that I do is I just set that that daily task goal. I don't like to just say a daily goal. The goals are used, that word is used so freely now. But being task oriented, like I like to focus on effort, just knowing the results will happen. Now, it's like clocking in. Okay, Sonya, you've only got 30 minutes to work today. Okay, Sonya, you've got 2 hours to work today. Okay, you've got 6 hours. What are you going to do in those minutes that are going to be task-oriented and effort-oriented, that involve sharing the business, sharing the products, following up with people? What can you do to make those things happen? And if you check that list off and you get those things done, don't worry about the results. Just check them off, because your paycheck depends on it. Kind of treat it like you won't get a paycheck unless you do your work. How many of you work a full-time job that I can see? Raise your hand. You work a full-time job. Okay. If you don't work, do you get a paycheck? If you don't go to work, do they go, well, we like you, so we're going to just mail you a paycheck anyway? No, you don't. You have to put in the effort. So that would be, people say, well, I need to get motivated and I need more self-discipline. I'm going to give you a secret to both of those things. I'm going to give you the secret, the answer to motivation and discipline. Action creates motivation. Action creates motivation. You're going to stay in a fearful mode until you pick up the telephone. I say pick up. Oh my gosh, that dates me, doesn't it? But until you, you still have to pick it up. Well, I used to say pick up the phone and dial the phone, but I would be scared to death to make that phone call. But once I would do it, that first call, it would be like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then I was motivated to do more. So action creates motivation, and results, you start seeing results, you're more disciplined. So people wait on self-discipline and motivation, and they go to their grave on those things. All right. I know it says unstable. Can you hear me? Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah.
Said my internet went out. Am I back?
Yep.
Okay. Crazy. All right. So action creates results, and the action creates the motivation, and the results create more discipline. So, just keep that in mind. And okay, another thing I want to say is that one thing that's really been a factor in my business, it is creating affirmations. If you think that you don't do affirmations or you don't use affirmations, well, affirmations are statements. They're statements that you say all day long. You talk to yourself all day long. You cannot turn off your brain, okay? So it's either going to be saying things like, you can't do that. Who are you to think you could do that, Autumn? You can't do that. You're not a salesperson. You don't have any credibility. You don't have a college degree. You could never do that, whatever it may be. Or you're going, wait a minute, I can do that. Of course I can do that. Hey, if so-and-so can, I can learn. I'm teachable. I'm coachable. I'm willing. I got this, right? So you can program what you want to happen. And this is not silly, crazy, far out stuff. This is very biblical. God gave us a free will. He gave us a brain. But I don't know about you, but I have chatter going all the time. And I can stop it at any point and redirect that chatter. You have the control to do that. So you're already doing affirmations. They just may be very negative ones. So just be willing to change those to be using and saying very positive, current, long. I say long, like I don't just say little sentences that are choppy. I like talk to myself in a powerful, fun way that motivates me, that makes me believe what I just said. And if you do that long enough, your brain's going to go, okay, well, I got it, Autumn. All right, you are amazing. Okay, let's go make it happen. And your brain is going to start putting out that energy. Not your brain, but you're going to start believing it, and then you put out that kind of confident energy. And people don't want to follow a parked train. They want to follow a moving train. And you're moving when your confidence is up because you've created that. So you can create, poor pitiful me, I'm blah, 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 blah. Or you can create, I'm a pretty awesome business person. And people are coming out of the woodwork to join my team because they are attracted to me. I draw them to me by my confidence, my wisdom, my excitement, my passion. So that's the kind of talk you can say, or you can say, oh, I can't believe these bad things happen to me. Bad things happen to me too, all the time. I just don't talk about them and list them and make a thread about them and dwell on them. I acknowledge them, and sometimes I have a whole bad day and not just a bad hour. Sometimes I have a whole bad day. There are times I have to completely unplug and just say, okay, too many things went crazy today. I'm not in a good mindset. I'm going to step away. It is okay to do that. Sometimes you need to do that, unplug and refuel, okay? All right, last couple little short things I want to say is always be growing personally. And you don't want to do 8 hours of personal growth and then no task, but you need to carve out 30 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 20 minutes of focused personal growth, whether that's reading a book, whether it's listening to some podcast, whether it's watching a couple great YouTube trainings, whatever. But success on demand in our back office is so good. I need to plug into that more. It's crazy amazing. And I know none of us tap into that like we could. I forget it's there a lot, but that's something you could actually say, okay, I'm going to do this because this is a session that I can do in 2 weeks, and just kind of put yourself on the path and watch what happens in your world. And the last thing I'm going to say on all the things are never quit on a bad day. Never quit when you're down. Never give up when you're down. This is what I say to people when they're having a horrible time. They're like, I just don't think this is for me. I'm like, do you want it to be though? And if they're like, yeah, I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? What do you need to do today to move forward? Well, I need to reach out to 5 people, or I need to go meet some new people, or I need to follow up, or okay, I'm going to give you a challenge to do that, and then get back with me tomorrow, and let's discuss you quitting. And it's like 95% of the time, they're like, you're right, because, pray over your business, believe over your business, say things that will lead you, talk to yourself in a way that will help develop the life you want. Because you're either going to have a life one day that you regret, or one that you go, I'm glad I ran to the fear, because you're going to have fear. But you either run into the fear so you can have the life you want, or you shy away from the fear and you're going to have a life of regret. It's one or the other. You have to purge toward fear in order to have the life you want. That's kind of what sums it up. So, all right. I know I'm about to lose my voice, and I have some more Zooms. Not tonight, but the rest of the week. So, Autumn, do you have anybody have any? I've got 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Well, I just have to say I love all of this, especially your last words, purge towards fear. Easier to give an excuse than to give it your all. People don't want to follow a parked train. They want to follow a moving train. We have ambassadors of all types here on, newbies to seasoned ambassadors. And what Sonya's talking about here, and, if you came in late, you got a recording, but I mean, what she's talking about will enrich your life like tenfold. It's all about mindset, and everything she said. I hope you guys have taken notes. Not only in your business is it crucial, but it will overflow into your life, into your relationships, into who you are as a mom and as a person. You become this better version of you. And so I'm just so appreciative for you coming on. Does anyone have a mindset type question for Sonya, or, something you want to put out there that you're willing to share, or?
Just to know. Yeah. You were just talking about how that overflows into your life. A question too you can ask yourself is, how do I want to be remembered? How do I want to be viewed? What do I want people to say about me? And you could become that person. You're in charge of that. It's a lifelong journey. I mean, it's a lifelong journey.
Never really arrive.
I have a question, and it's not really a business question, but I was just curious. Because I've watched a lot of your trainings in the past, and I never realized that you were sick. I mean, I heard you say little things, but never knew what you shared today. So I was just curious, were you just in chronic pain, or were you diagnosed with things, an illness, or were you just?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with that. This won't be publicly posted, will it? Just for your group, I had fibromyalgia, and it pretty severe. I mean, to the point of just, you couldn't touch me some days, couldn't dry my hair some days, I couldn't move. So it was very, I think I was 30,
Thanks.
37, 38.
Thanks for sharing. I was just curious, because I was also bedridden before that side of your story. So thanks.
I think she's frozen. I can't use my microphone. I hope we didn't lose her. Alex says, can't you use my microphone, but how do you handle not ranking up when you want? I haven't trained rank up for months, and at this point I'm discouraged. Well, we might have lost her, guys. Might have lost her altogether.
I had earned 10 company cars over 17 years. I had won many, many diamond rings, many, many prizes, never had earned a trip, never made over 55, 60,000 a year. That's good money. I get it. But it ain't emerald money. It ain't even senior ruby money. Okay, so I never had one person on my team to earn $500 a month on a consistent basis. Not one. I never had anyone under me earn. I had one girl earn a car and she lost it after 2 months. And I just tell you all that to say, I was never where I wanted to be in that business. I was struggling. I was in debt. I was in tears. But it's perspective. Like, you have to not compare yourself. Okay, stop about ranking, because it's all about growing, and then you'll rank. And when you're coming from a frustrated, discouraged place, you have to first get yourself out of that so you can rank up. And the ranking up will take care of itself when it's supposed to. Not that you shouldn't have it as a goal, but you've also got to say, am I willing to do the activity to match what it's going to take to hit that next rank, and do the personal growth that it's going to take. I could never have hit diamond in 10 months in Plexus. It took me years to do that. It took me 20 years to get there. Now, it's not going to take y'all that long to do that. But I'm just telling you, you can't compare your journey to someone else's journey. You just can't. You don't know what people are doing. You don't know their life. You don't know their kids, their situation. You don't know. So say to yourself, okay, what rank are you, Alex? Are you silver? Are you gold? You senior gold? Ruby? Senior ruby? 5 points from gold. Yes, well, you're going to do that. You're going to do that this month. Now, when people sense your discouragement, and that you're coming from a place of fear and desperation and discouragement, and I've got to do this, and I just got to get this 5 more points. I just got to get this 5 more points. When that happens, it's gonna be tougher to do that. And then next month, you're going to be in the same place. You got to say, you know what? Gold is a breeze. Gold is done. Gold is a done deal. In fact, I not only am hitting gold, but I am going past gold, and I am halfway to senior gold before the middle of June. And this is going to be my year of growth, learning, excitement, passion. People are going to feel my excitement. They're going to be drawn to me. Like, you've got to work on your mind and relaxing the discouragement, because there's nothing to be discouraged about. If you feel like you are a better person than you were 3 years ago, and that you've learned things that you didn't know, you're a better person. You're great. So you're allowing discouragement to hold you back. And that comes from the devil. And you need to just tell him, you know what? Get out of my way. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
All right.
So,
Stack lunch all done. Great. Did you get the chips too?
I think somebody's unmuted. I don't think that's Alex talking.
I'm trying to find where that's coming from.
I'm gonna bring water.
You can mute everyone and then just unmute me again.
You have a wonderful.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Anyway, Alex, I hope that helps. You got this. You know, you got it. You got to get you a power partner, someone who won't let you off the hook, and you just got to believe that you can do this, and you got to find the right people, and you got to talk a different talk. You got to talk boldness about the business. You got to believe in your heart that this is the best business out there, so that when you talk, it's believable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a whole lot. If there's a book. Oh my goodness, there's a whole lot of books, but tell you, I love this book, you know. What to say when you talk to yourself. I love this book. Oh my goodness, there's so many books. John Maxwell has got, this one, I've got it back. I loan a lot of books out, but this is the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. This is good stuff for you personally. I will tell you too that the book that he's coming out with, that we've been a part of a project with John Maxwell, helping him develop this new book, and the book comes out the end of July, and it's a book for network marketing. He's never done a book specific to our industry, and it's going to be powerful for newbies and for a recruiting tool. So I'm excited about this book. It's the best thing. I mean, it's so amazing. The content is amazing. He's brilliant. Oh my God, he's brilliant.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, me too. All right. I better go.
Everyone. Yes, it's late there. What is it, 8:30?
8:38.
Well, Sonya, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me on, Autumn. What a great team. You had a great crowd tonight. So thank you guys for being on, listening, taking notes, and applying, right? Applying what you learned. Applying.
Yes, and we'll see you here soon at convention.
2.5 weeks. All right.
Yes. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.